Judy Malinowski has survived the unthinkable. The mother of two says she was trying to get away from an abusive ex-boyfriend when he doused her with gasoline and set her on fire, leaving her disfigured and in physical pain every minute of every day.
What keeps you going, Judy? Your girls?
Her mother, Bonnie, believes it was Judy's love for her daughters that helped pull her out of months of unconsciousness.
I went and got pictures of her little girls, and I taped them above her bed because I thought to myself, if she remotely wakes up out of this coma or knows anything of what's going on or has any memory, the first thing I wanted to see is those two little girls. It proved to be true. I was thinking, if anything will motivate someone to live, a mom will being a mother will motivate you to take care of those two little girls.
Like Bonnie and Judy, those little girls, now 12 and 8, live daily with the consequences of their mother's condition.
Have there been tough questions from them?
Mm-hmm. Is she going to, do you promise she's going to live? You promise me she's not going to die? When are they going to make her look like my mom again? Grandma, how's she going to braid my hair? She's not. I mean, but what do you... It's about them, too. They're little, you know.
Though she lives for the hope of returning home to her daughters, Judy says she also fears being an embarrassment to them.
Why would they be embarrassed of you? The way you look?
With everything she has ahead of her, fighting just to stay alive, much less ever leave her hospital bed, we asked whether physical appearance matters to her.
To her, she said, Mom, no one's ever going to marry me or love me, or I'm going to be alone. You know, I'm very scarred and disfigured. You know, if I can make it through this, as she says, if I can make it through this.
If she can make it through this is still in question. From the start, Bonnie says doctors have warned her that Judy will likely not survive her injuries, setting up an emotional, complex struggle between medicine and a mother's faith.
And I just said to him, God decides who lives and who dies, and I'm not a violent person, I promise. And I just pointed his finger at me and him, and I said, you will resuscitate her, you will do everything it takes to save my child's life, and if God says he's going to take her, he will. You don't get to make that decision.
Your mother told us there was a point when doctors said she should let you go. What do you feel about that? You're glad they didn't. Tell me why.
Through her pain and scarred skin, she shows moments of humor.
Show him how I taught you to fight. Yeah.
Even flirtation.
He's one of your favorites? He's cute too.
Reminders that trapped inside a blistered, broken body is an alert, aware woman who is still alive. In the last few weeks, Judy and Bonnie say they reached a wrenching crossroads.
You felt like you couldn't live like this anymore. You're in so much pain.
She wanted me to just let her go, and I said, no, I'm not letting you go. We fought too long and too hard, and so that's when we said, I had to take a step back with myself and say, she's really in a lot of pain. She needs retraction surgery. She can't move her body. Am I being selfish?
But faced with the options of the end or an endless fight, there are no easy answers.
What conclusion have you come to about your future and what you want? You're gonna fight. This building is the United States Courthouse for the Northern District of Ohio in Cleveland. My name is Drew DeSerto. I'm the Chief Deputy with the United States Marshal Service in the Northern District of Ohio. There's a federal court order that there are no recording devices or cameras allowed in the courtrooms to record the proceedings, and we enforce that as the United States Marshal Service.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge presiding. You may be seated.
My name is Joe Wood. I'm a graphic artist at Fox 8. When I'm in the courtroom, I try and draw the exactly what I see in real life and make the image
ask the state to produce the
look as lifelike as possible and true to that person's image. Because if people at home recognize that particular person,
you are free to communicate that to the jury in your closing argument. I am not instructing them on that.
No, ma'am, just this, that it would be an improper argument of the law if the state were allowed to suggest to this jury that it is unlawful.
The heart of Jimmy DeMora's appeal has always been that he was denied a fair trial because he was not allowed to introduce his ethics reports. DeMora's defense to over 30 corruption charges was...
The 68-year-old told U.S. District Judge Dan Polster he was sorry for what he did and stressed that this is the most embarrassing thing that he ever experienced.
it's a federal court, and it was a corruption trial. And this is one of the attorneys, Jimmy, a closer shot. And then we have a wider shot of Jimmy. You might remember he was found guilty, and he's spending 28 years in a federal prison.
I like how you added the shading to show the light in there.
You know, when I'm in the courtroom, I think one of the things I think about is that my pen is the camera. And so I'm capturing these images for the viewer with my pen. I'm pretty fortunate. I love my job. It's pretty rewarding when people appreciate the artwork that I do. I feel good about what I've done.
A labor of love.
She's not only a teacher, but she's also a friend.
That's good. Lucas Bernard is one of Dawn Barnett's students. As an intervention specialist at Dublin-Scioto High School, nice. For her, each day isn't work, it's a passion.
It's just completely rewarding. I mean, there's nothing else that even compares.
Making a huge difference in each of her students' lives.
She loves advocating for me.
We already got a head start. By reaching out beyond the walls of her special education classroom and getting the entire student body to embrace.
We're all a community. Like, we just make them as our family, and they're nothing different.
Mitch is one of her peer collaborators. Students who take time out of their school day to mentor and form friendships with students with special needs.
Ms. Barnett's been like teaching us how to like react when they are having a bad day or something. And like, you just have to calm them down.
Mrs. Barnett oversees the peer collaboration program, which is nothing short of a success. Today at the Ohio State House, the Governor's Council on People with Disabilities honored her with the Maureen Fitzgerald Leadership Award.
Personable, enthusiastic, resourceful facilitator, educator, compassionate teacher.
Words used to describe Mrs. Barnett in a letter from the parent of one of her former students who nominated her.
She changed our lives for the better.
It's just such an honor, you know, to be recognized for doing what I love.
Ashley Barrissey.
Thank you, guys.
10 TV News.
Ryder was diagnosed at 5 weeks old with a mature teratoma brain tumor, which was attached to his cranial nerves and close to his brainstem. He has had about 28 surgeries, due to the tumor. He now has epilepsy. We have gross motor delays and just kind of delayed in general. But we work with Help Me Grow through Clinton County, and they helped us get in touch with Wright State.
It's called Go Baby Go.
Oh my goodness, look!
What we do is we take an electric car that's already been manufactured and we adapt it for
Look at the car, Ryder!
a child that has a mobility disability.
He's a very independent toddler, so anything that he can do to be on his own, he loves. I'm really happy that this will work out great.
Being able to be independently mobile is huge, especially for a child who has a disability that's related to mobility. Being able to make those independent choices and to learn the consequences and to learn that it's a new experience, so it is definitely independence.
Instead of a foot pedal, which is what normally you use to drive the car, there's a big button right in the middle of the steering wheel. So all the child needs to do is reach out and touch the steering wheel, and it will make the car go. The seatbelt system that we have is just tailored to the specific child that we are making the car for.
You turn it on? Yeah, are you ready to go?
This particular child only needs a lap belt, but we also have it set up to where we can put either a chest belt or a tri-point harness on.
We will let him get around our backyard and let him go where he wants to go, but he will be able to do it by himself, and I don't have to worry that he's gonna, fall a lot and, trip up a lot, where he can get there and be safe doing it.
Wright State has done so much for me. I actually get to use my engineering knowledge and put it into play in something that will really make a difference in the world.
We are excited to move forward with it. This is our first car, and we have plans in place for future cars should we have need.
Can you tell everybody, can you say thank you?
Oh, good job. Good job. Oh, thank you, Bubby.
I see.